Coming up, health violations force the closure of a popular downtown coffee house. Plus, getting outside can actually benefit your mental health. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Nick Ruth.
And I'm Hannah Ware. Thanks for tuning in.
Fire Creek Coffee downtown remains closed after it was shut down during a health inspection. We recently met with two ex-employees of the coffee house who shared their experiences. We want to warn you, graphic content is discussed. The Coconino County Department of Public Health shut down Fire Creek Coffee March 24th for health code violations. The department found mice in the coffee shop after their scheduled inspection, which according to sources has been an ongoing problem. One ex-employee says that they would get stuck with the repulsive job of cleanup,
which included dead mice around the building, also mouse droppings everywhere. We weren't given proper equipment to clean up after it.
Another employee went as far as describing how they would trap the mice and have to hear them suffering. Some mice would try to chew off their own limbs to escape the traps.
Having to put out traps, and the only traps we were allowed to set up were glue traps, so the mouse would run into it, get stuck, and then scream, and that was traumatizing to hear.
Paris also says that this isn't the first time Fire Creek has been shut down.
Having to do several deep cleans in order to keep that up to health code after being shut down the first time. A kitchen and bakery were shut down because of that. They said it was for renovations, when in reality it was for the mice infestation and bringing everything up to health code.
The health department has removed its notice from the door, and Fire Creek put up a sign that says the coffee house is being renovated. It should reopen sometime this week.
Margaret Oswald became the fourth person to die this year in Grand Canyon National Park. The Utah native died after injuries she sustained from a roughly 20-foot fall near a whitewater rafting campsite. Oswald was 34 years old. The Arizona Supreme Court has issued a death warrant for the first time in nearly 8 years. Inmate Claret Dixon is scheduled to be executed for the rape and murder of an Arizona State University student back in 1978. Dixon was originally serving a life sentence for sexual assault in another case when modern DNA profiling connected him to the 1978 rape and murder. Dixon's execution date is currently set for May 11th.
The Arizona Supreme Court denied the state Republican Party's request to get rid of early voting, which is used by 90% of Arizona's population. The court said the case did not meet the requirements to be heard directly by the court. Instead, the justices said Republicans should start with the lower courts, which is how most cases are handled. The GOP has been fighting mail-in balloting across the nation following complaints from former President Trump. NAZ Today's Caitlin Boland is exploring the connection between spending time in nature and our mental health.
A lot of people are out here enjoying the sunshine, beautiful hiking trails, and the water at Slide Rock State Park, where I'm here exploring the connection between mental health and nature.
This feels great, but are there more specific benefits? Assistant Manager and Ranger Blake Corrigan gives his perspective.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to be in a place like this? I mean, it's just awesome to kind of mix up the daily routine. It's nice to be able to go somewhere new, to just have your brain just see different things that you're not used to. I think is just a good exposure for people that is definitely helpful.
We also caught up with the Gutierrez family who were visiting the park.
Getting out in nature is important because, it kind of helps you de-stress, I feel. It helps you to de-stress, and also being with the family and our kids, and we enjoy that because it allows us to bond with each other without having to worry about work, school, anything like that. So it's just about us.
There are measurable psychological and physical benefits from engaging with nature. Psychologist Cody Bayless explains.
There's a lot of research that's geared toward the effect or the relationship between humans, mental health, executive functions, overall cognitive functioning, that kind of thing, and the connection that people hold with the natural world.
Bayless says nature benefits our mood, improves focus, and can help with stress, depression, and anxiety.
Setting intention to connect with the natural world, I think, is a really important thing. And so what does it look like to go out and care for the earth, or to show gratitude for the earth, opposed to just going for a walk? And that will add another layer of benefit to it.
Nature is crucial for our mental health, so this is your friendly reminder to get outside and intentionally connect with the natural world. Caitlin Boland, NAZ Today.
The Navajo Nation eased its COVID restrictions, allowing tribal businesses and other social gatherings to include more people. Businesses can now operate at 75%, and in-person social gatherings can have up to 25 people. Indoor arenas will now operate at 50% and outdoor seating at 75%. However, a safer at-home order and mask mandate in public places on the reservation still remain in place. The alleged gunman in the shooting outside Collins Bar downtown has pleaded not guilty. 26-year-old Frankie Jackson died in the shooting. Suspect Trayshawn Ware says it was an act of self-defense. In court papers, his attorney claims Ware was protecting himself and his brother, who was allegedly assaulted by Jackson. The documents describe Jackson as the initial aggressor with several pieces of evidence.
Flagstaff residents will be going to the polls August 2nd. The election is set to be an interesting one as there are 4 candidates for mayor, but there are only 2 candidates to fill 4 open city council seats. The city says it will release more information on how it plans to fill the remaining seats later this week. Comedian Noel Miller, a fixture on YouTube, has some advice for those who may be considering a career in comedy. He was last in Flagstaff last week with NAZ Today's Kiana Orozco.
Thanks, Nick. The Canadian comedian brought his comedy tour to NAU April 1st and shared some of his toughest experiences as well as his view on the art of comedy.
Miller's comedy show, My Darkest Hour, stems from his past and childhood experiences. He opens up to the audience and his fans about past trauma and is able to do some comedy to help him move past these moments.
I came up with a very literal name a while ago. I just called it My Darkest Hour because it's literally an hour to 10 minutes of just very dark stuff. The second half is a lot about my childhood, and it's not something I really talk about online, not for any particular reason. So I thought it'd be funny to expose a lot, or some of the things I've gone through.
You might say Noel is a part of a new generation of comedians whose audience is as much online as it is in person. He says that his show is consistently being reworked and rewritten.
It's kind of interesting. The people that saw the show in January will probably not recognize it now, and the people who see it now probably will not be recognizable in 6 months. So it's always an ongoing process.
Miller has some advice for those who want to get started in the creative field.
I think my advice would be, really, if you want to do anything creative, is you're not going to be good at it, and that's fine. Just accept that. And if you're creative and you want to do things, just give it time and keep going.
He even has one last thing to say to his fans.
Thank you for all your support. Thank you for keeping me working. I take that very seriously, actually. So, yeah.
For more information on tour dates and Noel's upcoming projects, visit noelmillerlive.com to stay up to date. Kiana Roscoe, NAZ Today.
Coming up, the U.S. has announced action against Russia's regime. Plus, find out how making paper cranes just might grant you a wish. Stay with us.
Looking forward here in northern Arizona, these clear skies as well as some winds will continue throughout Thursday. We are going to be seeing cooler temperatures as well throughout the next week, as well as possible precipitation in the forecast. Now I'll have more on weather, so stay with us after the break.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses.
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I'm Rudy Tempesta. I'm 92 years old. I fought in World War II. Then I came home, worked for the post office for 70 years. I've been getting Meals on Wheels, and I enjoy it. The most important thing about Meals on Wheels is you meet the people, which to me is fantastic. You need people to keep your brain moving. That's what life is about. It's love and having a conversation with people.
Western allies seeking to put more pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin added to a growing list of sanctions on Wednesday. The European Union, the G7, and the U.S. announced expanded economic sanctions, while the U.S. Department of Justice announced actions against the Russian regime. This as NATO foreign ministers kicked off a summit with an acknowledgement to Russia's war on Ukraine could last for years. Karen Kefa has the latest from Washington.
Amid more startling images from Ukraine,
responsible nations have to come together to hold these perpetrators accountable.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the Justice Department is helping to collect evidence for possible Russian war crimes prosecution.
The United States is, at the request of the Ukrainian prosecutor, assisting in the collection of information with respect to the atrocities that took place.
Garland announced a number of U.S. actions, including charges against a Russian oligarch for sanctions violations and the disruption of a botnet controlled by Russia's military intelligence agency. This as the White House joined European allies in imposing new economic sanctions on Russian financial institutions and on Russian President Vladimir Putin's two daughters. But at a NATO summit in Brussels, an acknowledgement the conflict could last months, even years.
We have seen no indication that President Putin has changed his ambition to control the whole of Ukraine, but at the same time we have to be realistic and realize that this may last for a long time.
On Capitol Hill, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned of the economic toll of a long Russia-Ukraine war, with its disruption of the global food and energy markets. The EU took its first steps towards sanctioning Russia's energy market this week with a proposal to ban coal imports. In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.
NAU students will gather tomorrow to celebrate peace by making paper cranes to honor those killed by the atomic bomb in Hiroshima. Arts and entertainment reporter Matt Kienitz is live in the studio with more.
Thanks, Nick. The event will showcase a popular form of art in Japan called Senbazuru. Event organizer Carson Hawkins sat down with us to explain more about the significance of the event and how to make paper cranes. Senbazuru, or 1,000 cranes, symbolize well-wishing, peace, and good luck. Hawkins says he wanted to celebrate this art form by creating an event, Paper Cranes to Hiroshima. The legend centers on a young girl named Sadako, who contracted leukemia due to exposure to radiation from the Hiroshima bombing. She made 1,000 cranes in order to get hope.
So the story goes, there's an ancient legend that anybody who could fold 1,000 origami cranes will have a wish granted. And so the woman who popularized it in the late 40s, early 50s was a young girl named Sadako. And Sadako had leukemia after being exposed to radiation at Hiroshima. And so she'd been familiar with the legend, and so she decided to make 1,000 paper cranes.
The story goes that she succeeded, and although she passed away in 1955, her legacy still lives on.
And there's actually a statue of her at Peace Memorial Park.
Hawkins then showed us how to make these paper cranes.
And then after you get that, you're gonna move that, you're gonna like remove this top flap and then push it upward. And then that will fold down like this.
He says that the cultural significance of Senbazuru has grown.
Initially it was, I guess, did start with that legend of anyone who could fold 1,000 would have a wish granted. And then Sadako definitely popularized it as she went on. And then since then, not only do they accept them at Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, but even just in general, if you have a friend who's sick, I'm pretty sure you can send them a Senbazuru and it's a get well wish.
This event will take place tomorrow at the NAU Babbitt Academic Annex. The event starts at 6 p.m. While his goal is to make 1,000 cranes, Hawkins is just happy that he is bringing this event to NAU. Matt Kienitz, NAZ Today.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend.
You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Good evening and welcome back to NAZ Today. My name is Tori Smith, bringing you weather on this wonderful Wednesday evening. Now we got clear skies remaining in the forecast right now, a temperature of 57 degrees currently. Barometric pressure reading above 30 right now at 30.31 inches. And relative humidity not being seen too much in the atmosphere right now at 11%. Winds are pretty strong right now, 16-mile northeast winds right now, pretty strong. So if you're going out tonight, definitely keep an eye out for that. Those gusts can be up to 30 miles per hour and can definitely knock you off your feet. Current satellite right now, we are seeing clear skies remain across the state, pretty warm overall, as well as those clear skies continuing. Now, high today was 61 degrees. Low tonight going to drop down to 29 degrees. That is below freezing, so if you're going out, definitely want to dress warm. Our averages are pretty on point right now. Nowhere close to those records, however. Precipitation, still seeing the effects of that weak La Nina. Since January 1st, we've seen 2.99 inches of precipitation. Average right now is 6.30, but we have precipitation in the forecast. High temperatures across the state today, relatively warm as that heat wave is approaching 77 degrees in Prescott. It's making its way to the east. 84 degrees in Winslow was the high for today, and 95 is the high in Phoenix. Now, that is pretty warm temperatures, almost hitting the triple digits right now. Tonight, we are going to drop down to 29 degrees, mostly clear skies, and a sunset of 6:52 p.m. Jumping into tomorrow, 6:04 is our sunrise for tomorrow. 65 degrees is the high as well, and sunny skies continuing throughout the state. Now, zooming out, taking a look at Arizona in total, we are going to be seeing 78 is the high for tomorrow in Payson. 93 degrees is the high in Lake Havasu. I'd say that's boating weather, but I'm a little biased. I think all seasons are boating weather. So 67 degrees is our high in Chola for tomorrow as well. And down in Phoenix, 94 as the high. Now, jumping back to Flagstaff, we are going to be seeing a warming trend continue through Saturday, 65 degrees, making its way up to 74 degrees here in Flagstaff on Saturday. And then it's going to cool off just a little bit, dropping down to 65 degrees on Sunday. And Monday, possible precipitation in the forecast. Not going to see any snow on Monday. Going to see about 20% chance rain showers. But Tuesday, we do have possible snow showers, about 40% chance at that in the forecast. That's all we have for weather today, but definitely check out sports after the break. Stay with us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hello and welcome back to NAZ Today. I'm your sports reporter, Brendan Martin. NAU women's basketball is riding high after a Big Sky Conference Championship appearance last month and looks to retool its roster heading into next season. New NAU transfer Montana Otrogi is joining the Lumberjacks after 4 seasons with fellow Big Sky school Idaho State. After visiting campus, Otrogi officially announced her decision to play her final season at NAU on March 24th.
So I came up here and I fell in love with the coaching staff and the players that I was able to meet, and just the campus, and definitely being close to home. Like, all those things played a huge role into my decision as well.
Coming from a Big Sky opponent, Otrogi has played her fair share of games against NAU. In her most recent outing against her new team, the Phoenix native who played at Xavier College Prep had a monstrous performance, scoring 16 of her 21 points in the fourth quarter at Idaho State to lead the Bengals to a comeback win.
I definitely heard that on my visit. Playing against ISU is definitely going to be weird. I've had that jersey on for 4 years. Yeah, I'm just going to go out and play as hard as I can against them in every other game that we have.
Otrogi comes from a program that has had a lot of recent success, winning the conference title in 2021 and earning the #1 seed in this year's tournament. Otrogi looks to bring that experience to the team that NAU head coach Lori Payne has built from the ground up.
She's built a great program here, and especially the last few years, they've been really good. And so I definitely want to bring the championship mindset I have to the program, because I think that we have a really good chance of winning this year.
Brendan Martin, NAZ Today. Otrogi joins a Lumberjack roster that will be losing a handful of key seniors. Her addition allows NAU to remain a title contender while still developing young talent. Just yesterday, NAU re-signed Lori Payne to a 5-year contract extension. Despite losing graduates, the Lumberjacks seem to be a threat in the Big Sky. Some breaking news regarding NAU men's basketball. Freshman forward Winton Brown has officially entered the transfer portal. The 6'8" forward from Carson, California officially hit the portal, and after this season, he averaged 10 minutes per game. Coconino softball improved to 14-4 on the season with the win over the Mingus Union Marauders 3-1. It took until the 4th inning yesterday for either team to crack the scoreboard, as a pair of runs for the Panthers was enough to secure their 7th straight win. Coconino will head to Cottonwood for a rematch with Mingus tomorrow at 3:45. Switching to baseball, the Panthers look to keep their bats flaming tomorrow in a rematch against Mingus at home at 4 p.m. The Panthers have scored 19 runs in the last 2 games, including 12 against the Marauders just yesterday. That's all I have for sports tonight. Stay tuned after the break for your weather recap with Tori Smith.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in. Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really want
smart.
cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back. Let's take one last look at weather. We got a warming trend continuing, 65 on Thursday, jumping up to our peak at 74 on Saturday. And then it's going to cool off just a bit, 65 on Sunday and 57 on Monday, with possible precipitation in the forecast. But looking for our temperatures tonight, I'd say it's a good night to grab a beer and go hang out outside. What do you guys say on desk?
Tomorrow is National Beer Day. Supporting local bars is a great way to celebrate, but remember to stay safe. Do not drink and drive, know your limits, and be cautious of your surroundings to ensure your safety while you are having a drink.
Now, of course, this does apply to tomorrow, but this should apply to everyday life as well if you're going to head on into town and have a couple drinks with your buddies. Now, that is all we have for tonight. You guys can check us out on all of our social media, including naztoday.com, on our website. That is all we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.